games to love.
3 games to love.
Well, they're getting a good opportunity too. You'll notice the way Fanning and Southwood are both stepping back to play the returner serve, almost taking a step back and timing the ball, but as a result it allows a net player in the Philippines team, whoever that is at the time, to have a bit more chance for the volley. So I'd like to see Emily Fanning hold serve here in the first instance, and then start to step in a bit more on the returner serve her opponents.
You can take this towel if you want, just to...
Serena May Arvalo, the Philippines captain, has cut a pretty relaxed figure on the sideline all day today, pretty jovial.
Emily Fanning for New Zealand to serve.
Yes, a bit chilly. The temperature's really dropped.
15 love.
In the last hour or so, it's now got quite overcast and gloomy from where we were. Breeze is still fluttering around the flags. Almost caught the back of the line, just snatched a little too hard.
30 love. Love.
First hold of the match for New Zealand from the serve of Emily Fanning, holds to love. So on the board, the Kiwis. Still the Philippines with a break though, 3-1.
So now I think it's important for these New Zealanders to get the ball right out in front of themselves on the returner serve. It's the second round of serving for every player, so they'll be a bit more familiar. Capadocia is where she's going to serve.
Love.
Cleverly done by Fanning.
15-0.
Oh, correction here. Capadocia is the one moving into the middle of the court here. She leaves far too much gap. Not necessary to do that. She needs to have more confidence in her partner and wait for the right opportunity. Rivera at 15-all.
Sorte 15.
And chance here really for the first time for New Zealand. Try and win this break back. Oh, scooped off the toes. It was like the Yorker coming at her feet. Oh, well picked up by Capadocia.
Game, Philippines.
Hold a serve for the Philippines. Southwood have been looking for a moment, but
Philippines lead by
too
4
much on the
games
volley,
to
so the
1.
Philippines 4-1.
Just keep it. That's all right. I know they're solid, but they're also going to have their spells, all right? So just keep playing away.
Yeah.
Just don't mind your shoulder too much on the right and try it through a little too.
Aga. Kahit di malakas sa block na.
Well, both captains giving their players lots of encouragement.
Time.
As a combination at this stage, the Philippine pairing are playing more as a team than their New Zealand counterparts. Kelly Southwood
15
more
love.
comfortable at the back of the court. She's doing a good job of being at the net and volleying, but it's not her natural place of comfort. And as a result, the New Zealanders are playing a little more one up, one back doubles, which has the potential to create a few gaps for the opposition. Good service game to date for Southwood.
Love.
Backing each other up nicely. Big first serve from Southwood and the finish from Fanning, but it's still the Philippines with a break 4-2.
Philippines lead by 4 games to 2.
Well, good serving here from Southwood. Now this is the important game. The New Zealanders made little impression on the service game of Capadocia the last time around. I believe they need to step inside the baseline and return the ball faster and look to take the net away from their opponents.
It's the Philippines who are dictating the play at the moment.
Absolutely the right tactic from the New Zealanders. Look at how they're both at the net. Here, this volley here from Southwood wasn't good enough, and the reflex over her head, but it was the right tactic and one I think they should continue to execute.
Oh, that's clever from Capadocia from the back of the court. We saw it a bit in her singles to mixed effect, perhaps. So it's certainly got her opponent on the run in that match in Horrigan. And caught Southwood out there. Oh, Fanning. Massive swing, and now they hold to love the Philippines for a 5-2 advantage.
Philippines lead by 5 games to 2.
I think the right tactic here from Fanning to go at the body of the opponent, not in a way to try and hit them, but to break down the angles. And there, miss-hit the shot, the call of out, and a nice apology from Fanning and a laugh as well.
So the Philippines 5 games to 2. They played really well in this set.
As soon as they see you come forward, it's more pressure on them, alright? Yeah. So just a little bit and slightly
course, the first time they've played together, and you just hear Rakovic say getting to know each other a bit and how they play.
Ball, please.
And you know, it's all good. I mean, let's get this in perspective. New Zealand have won the tie. These two women look like they're really enjoying themselves, having a laugh. We're enjoying watching.
And likewise across the other side of the net too, isn't it? Philippines enjoying themselves and playing some good tennis.
Well, so often you can watch tennis that can be quite antagonistic.
15 love.
It doesn't appear to be anything like that out there. And here, Capadocia has been moving too quickly to the centre of the court. I can understand that happening once, maybe twice, but on a regular basis, you really need to learn from your mistakes.
Great teamwork, both players, the New Zealanders switching sides.
30 love.
Well, what's good about what the New Zealanders do here is they call to each other. You can hear Fanning calling mine, mine, Southwood ducking, and now she takes the opportunity here. So communication in the point as well as in between equally as important.
15. Forty 15.
New Zealand hold, and it's now the Philippines who'll serve for the first set. Yeah, 5 games to 3.
5 games to 3.
Well, the problem with Fanning coming right across the court there is if you don't put that volley away, then you are exposed up the line, which is exactly what happened.
Oh, great work, Capadocia at the net, stretching wide and right on that forehand, nailing it down the middle.
Well, she's learned, hasn't she, coming over too far into the middle. There she kind of did a mini fake. Allowed Fanning to think she was going to leave another gap. And was waiting for the volley.
3 set points now for the Philippines. Scooping that inside the court. Fanning.
40-15.
Rivera opting to serve and volley here. Good tactic. May not win every point, but it means that your opposition know that you can do that. And may be vital for them later on in the match to employ the same tactic.
Well, for the first time in the Fed Cup week, New Zealand has dropped a set, and that's because it was a really classy set of tennis from the Philippines. Capadocia and Rivera take it 6-3.
Got the first set highlights. There was some good serving by the Philippines. They volleyed well as a result of some good return of serves from both teammates. They combined well as a team. They seemed to have a sense of where the other was moving to. The New Zealanders taking a little bit more time to get used to each other and were a little exposed on the volley, which enabled the team from the Philippines just to have a few more opportunities. If we look at the first set summary, high percentage of first serves in the court for both teams. The unforced errors, a few more from the New Zealanders, and an interesting statistic, more points won at the net by Rivera and Capadocia than the New Zealanders, and it's not a statistic we've seen regularly this week. The New Zealanders have tended to dominate at the net in doubles, but now have another opportunity to see what they can do in this set.
So New Zealand coming from behind for the first time. Evasive action from Fanning. Sometimes it doesn't matter how you get here. It's fun to watch. All the skills, a lot of dexterity on display for some of these players.
Love. Game, New Zealand.
Great serving from Southwood.
First game, second set.
Well, the key here will be whether the team from the Philippines can keep doing what they did in the first set and just be really disciplined, particularly about their volleys, because I get the sense that Southwood and Fanning are going to return better this set. They're a little bit more familiar with the serves now, and they've played a set of doubles together. But if the Philippines can volley well, tactically I think they are playing some good doubles out there. You may surprise with a victory.
So I take 15. Long. 15.
Serving really well, the Philippines. 81% of first serves. I mean, both teams are serving well. Notable improvement.
Game Philippines.
Another good hold.
1 game all. And take one from him. There,
I think the pressure there of the situation getting to Kelly Southwood, just not making the return of serves, really bread and butter. Got to get that ball in, give yourself a fighting chance to win the point.
Love 15.
One of the first things to go when you're playing the point is your feet. Look at Kelly Southwood here, just not moving her feet here for the volley and just standing there and lurching. She needs to really
15 all.
force herself almost to be confident enough to really move to the ball at the net.
Well played again, Capadocia.
15-30.
Oh, she's picking the ball up the line now, isn't she? Fanning needs to keep the ball going cross court until she creates an opportunity. Tactically coming up a little bit short, the New Zealanders at the moment.
This time it's Rivera who bisects between the two New Zealanders, and it's breakpoint chances for the Philippines. Great shot! Emphatic breaker serve for the Philippines. Shira Rivera finishing it off, and the Philippines go 2-1 up with a set in the bag.
Good tennis here. Look at the gap, though, that Kelly Southwood leaves. Just showing her lack of experience on the doubles court there. I think the difficulty the New Zealanders are facing right now is they're not playing good basic tennis. Guard your line, get your first serve in and return the ball as well. Can the duo from the Philippines just maintain their equilibrium? Focus now needs to be on, I say, simply holding serve. I don't mean that it's easy. They are in a good position at this stage.
$15 love.
It's frustrating for Fanning. I'm saying they're playing nice and relaxed, and there's no bearing on this result, but you still want to perform and play well. It's all match time, court time.
Red for service.
Oh, just overcooked it. Knew as it came off the racket that she just pushed it. Rivera.
Well, let's hope this is not a significant point for the Philippines in this match. It was a gimme for the game, as was that. And sometimes in a match, these are the little opportunities that, in this case, the New Zealanders might capitalise on. Interestingly, Emily Fanning playing on the opposite side of the court than she did yesterday with Erin Routliffe.
Just
Wow, those points have gone quickly for the Philippines.
receiver's choice.
Well, they're opting with Fanning again. She's had a little bit of difficulty controlling the one-hander from that side, but I think on balance she has returned better than Kelly Southwood. This is a very significant game point for both teams.
Oh, well played, Fanning. New Zealand break back, and that's the change we see, of course. No ad point. And so it was a break point chance taken by Emily Fanning.
Well, we talked, didn't we, about whether the team from the Philippines were able to maintain the good volleying that they have in the beginning and through the match so far. They missed 3 volleys and 1 easy forehand. And for their sake, I hope not, but I have a feeling this has allowed the New Zealanders the chance that they have been looking for to play their way back into this match.
There's also just a couple of spots of rain as well. Note that it got been overcast, pretty dark in the hills above us here. Just a couple of drips. That's better for the Philippines, more like what we've seen from them.
30-15.
Well, the match tempo is rising here, isn't it? All the players are starting to play better than they were at the start of the match. And perhaps slightly unnervingly for the Philippines, the New Zealanders, coming from a long way back and not playing well in the beginning, are starting to look more comfortable as a team.
Tried to fake them, Fanning.
40-30.
And they didn't buy it, what she was selling. And left Southwood on the stretch. Just wide from southward, and now
Deciding point.
the Philippines with an opportunity to break straight back. Deciding point. It's Capadocia will receive it for the Philippines. All four players. What a point of the match for sure, won by the Philippines.
Well, absolutely outstanding from all players, all court tennis, grinds, leaps, jumps, and such a huge point as well. It's amazing to think that they could all play a point like that and still be smiling at the end of it.
Well, you could hear the New Zealand team, the rest of the team sitting in the stands, and the crowd getting up behind them, and the Philippines, they were thrilled with that point. Here's the New Zealand team, Valentina Ivanov, Paige Hurrigan and Erin Routliffe.
Well, it seems to me somewhat fitting that this is such a good and entertaining match to round off what has been quite a wonderful week here at the Wellington Renouf Tennis Centre. And full credit to the Philippines. They made the final, they've lost the tie, but are being very entertaining in the doubles
15
for
love.
the crowd who have stayed on to watch.
Left, first service.
Just missing a bit southward. Cheek giving the Philippines a couple of free points.
Ball, please. Thank you.
Oh, Rivera out hitting Fanning, got the short ball Fanning and then dumped it into the net. So the Philippines hold again and consolidate that second break of serve, and 4-2.